Nah, Sam. I was ready to resign. I had the letter typed, signed, and hidden in my drawer. But one casual question from the CFO. And everything changed. That day I realized that my mission wasn't somewhere else. It was right there, in the office I wanted to escape. You dream of a career with impact. A job that aligns with your values, uses your gifts, maybe even makes the world better. But what if you find yourself doing cold calls in a department that drains your soul? That was me. Fresh out of university, I prayed for a role in re-engineering, strategic, structured, meaningful. Instead, I landed in marketing, making merchant acquisition calls. As an introvert, I felt like a round peg in a square hole. My tribe, the group of us who joined together, soon left the company. And with them, the familiarity, the comfort. What remained? An outcast, alone, lost in a place I called my Egypt. But God didn't call me out. He kept me there for a good 7 years. One thing about the Red Lady, that the structure was flat. No layers of hierarchy, even the big boys were within reach. I was just a senior executive and, oddly, the go-to guy when someone needed a tie for the CEO meeting. One afternoon, while waiting for a taxi, the CFO turned to me and said, "Sam, what's your take on selling off the secondary business?" That business was where I am. A quiet but consistent revenue stream, low effort, high return. I told him straight, we'd be killing the golden goose. It's not flashy, but it's faithful. A few minutes of honest opinion, and that idea was scrapped. But it didn't go unnoticed. The proposal came from my direct boss, who now suspected that I had sunk it. Why did he want to sell? To boost his profit metrics for that year, a stepping stone to a bigger bonus. And me, I had just earned myself an awkward seat in his future meetings. Of course, my bonus was affected as well. But I didn't regret it. God had given me a clear head and a conscience I couldn't ignore. In the corporate world, it's often every person for themselves. Success isn't always about what's right, but what's profitable. And that can crush your soul if you're wired for purpose, not politics. I wrestled with God. Why am I still here? Shouldn't I be in full-time ministry doing something that feels more Christian? Then came the moment that shattered me. I was chatting with our receptionist. "So Sam, what did you do over the weekend?" "Oh, I went to church with my family." "Oh, I didn't know you were a Christian?" That broke me. People knew I was kind, hardworking, friendly, but not one soul had seen Christ in me. That was the day I realized being good isn't the same as being godly. You can be helpful and invisible for the kingdom. Daniel didn't work in a temple. He served in the palace of a pagan king, in Babylon, the heart of corruption. Yet he stood out. Not because he preached, but because of his excellence, integrity, and uncompromised faith. In Colossians 3:23-24 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." It doesn't say unless you're in ministry. It says whatever. Millennials and Gen Z, we crave authenticity, purpose, balance, a life that means something. And yet we often compartmentalize faith and work. But what if your desk is your pulpit? Your project is your witness? Your professionalism is your testimony? Jesus once told a story in Matthew 25. A master entrusted 3 servants with talents, money. 2 multiplied theirs. 1 hid his. The lesson? God doesn't reward what we wish we had. He honors what we do with what we're given. So what's in your hands today? A spreadsheet, a Zoom call, a marketing brief? Be faithful, multiply it. Let excellence be your worship. Because when you serve people well, you reflect the one who created them. You don't need a title to make impact. You need obedience. Your workplace might feel like Babylon or Egypt, but you're not there by accident. God hasn't forgotten your dreams. But sometimes He builds your ministry before He launches your mission. So here's your challenge this week. Ask God, what does faithfulness look like here? Show up with integrity even when no one sees. Be intentional. Don't just be a good employee, be a visible follower of Christ. Because the marketplace isn't the opposite of ministry. It is your ministry. If this resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment below. Where is God asking you to stay even when it's hard? Next episode, when obedience hurts, the cost of following God in the workplace. Until then, don't just chase a paycheck. Chase purpose, and let your purpose point to Christ. Amen.